Wholesale Hotline. I'm Brent Daniels.
I'm Jamil Damji.
And I'm Jerry Norton.
And I'm Morby.
Every week we bring you the best information on real estate investing.
Be sure to participate in the comments.
And subscribe.
Wholesale Hotline!
Welcome back to another episode of Wholesale Hotline number 283. My name is Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, and I am joined by the one and only, the flipping master, the flippingmastery.com. No? Maybe. Jerry Norton. Jerry, how are you, brother?
Good. How are you, Brent?
So you are in Tennessee.
Yep. Back on the farm.
So you have a farm. You have a house in Montana. Where else do you live? And in Costa Rica?
Puerto Rico. Yeah. I'm trying to sell the Puerto Rico place. And I'm building there. I have the hotel there. But yeah, kind of all over the place.
And look at this. Look at this guy. Jamil Damji.
How you guys doing?
Good. Good to see you, brother.
Likewise, bro. Pacer's going to be here in just a couple of minutes.
Where are you located, bud?
I'm back in Phoenix.
Nice. Back home?
I'm back home for about a week, and then running this challenge with Pacer, and then heading to LA.
So what is this challenge that you guys, is it an ongoing, is it the same challenge with new people? Is it an ongoing challenge? Tell us about that.
Okay, so right now, what we're doing is different from the last one. The last one we did was the No One Left Behind challenge.
Yep.
Which is agent outreach, essentially, right? The challenge that we're doing right now is the bird dogging challenge. I don't know if you've seen what Pace has been doing over the last couple of months. He's been really diving into the bird dogging as a strategy, because as you guys know, bird dogging is the lowest hanging, the fastest way to the check. And so what Pace does is he invites 150 people that are brand new in the community, and they get an experience like they could never get anywhere else. So they all come down to Phoenix and they spend an entire week with Pace, myself, leaders within the community, and they get hands-on in office support. And we go, bro. Like today they had an entire day full of instruction. Tomorrow again, they get on the phones, they do the things. It's like, back in the day, bro, it would be like you wouldn't get even this much value out of a $20,000 mastermind. And it's all a part of just being a part of the Subto community. So it's a lot of fun for me, because I get to connect with new people. I get to make money from it. I do deals with these guys. If it wasn't for these challenges, I wouldn't have bought like 4 of the houses that I'm in right now and made like at least 30, 40 grand in assignment fees. So I just get to do deals with everybody in here, and it's phenomenal. I'm just happy to be a part of it. It's so much fun.
So who are you guys calling?
This challenge we'll be talking to wholesalers, doing JV deals. Yeah.
Awesome. So how you walk us through this process. So do you sit down? There's like, hey, meet and greet, and then they get a script, and then you go through the script, and then you start calling people, or what happens?
I'll let Pace explain it. Pace, now that you're here, I was just explaining what we were doing. Give them the lay of the land.
Okay, so what we do is we'll start out first with finding buyers, because I believe if you're going to bird dog, you should start. Bird dogging for me, my description of bird dogging is that you focus on one buyer. You're not going and trying to blast out to a list. That's not bird dogging, right? A bird dog works for one hunter, right? So this is why we call it bird dogging. I'm going to find the bird, and I'm going to bring that bird back to one hunter. I'm not working for 10 hunters. I'm working for one. And so you start with one buyer. Why is this so helpful for a newbie? Is because newbies easily get overwhelmed with like all these new words and terminologies and acronyms and these human beings that are involved in, wait, what do you do? And I can't remember. And so you distill it down to its most basic form, which is find a qualified buyer in your local area. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow, is finding a qualified buyer. Where will we find that data? Well, PropWire has free data. So we might use PropWire, we might use Deal Sauce, depends. And we will then start doing outreach to buyers saying, hey, I'm brand new to the business. I barely know my butt from a hole in the ground, but I see you're buying deals on public record, and I like to figure out where should I send them, via text, via email, like how do I send them? And also how do I get feedback, et cetera. So we will call buyers tomorrow, find the buyers, call the buyers, set up arrangements for each one of these new people to have a qualified buyer based on public records, not on Facebook groups. Guys, if you're finding buyers in Facebook groups, you're going to have a hard time with daisy chainers. Okay. Not that I have any problem with daisy chainers, but I do have problems with daisy chainers. The communication, the lack of communication. So then on Wednesday, we will find suppliers, which would be wholesalers. Look at this, Munchie. Is that Munchie?
Scrunchy.
Scrunchy.
What is that?
It's a possum.
It's Jerry's pet possum.
Did you find that, or did it come with the house?
They do come with a house usually.
They found it in the woods, bro.
Oh my gosh, is it?
Sam, our friend Sam found it on the road.
Oh, Sam found it. Yeah.
That one that's full grown, so he gave it to us.
They're the best pet. It goes to sleep in your arms. You feed it. It eats anything. They're really fun
And
actually.
you can put it on your shirt and just dead asleep sometimes. Stop going crazy. No, eating your shark milk.
Go put them away now. Sorry.
So
Possum farm.
on Wednesday, we will find suppliers, otherwise known as wholesalers. And we reach out to those wholesalers and say, hey, I'm brand new to the business, but I have a really good quality buyer that I'm looking for deals for. Do you mind if I look at your inventory and copy and paste it over to my buyer? That's it. Script is really simple. And so on Tuesday, we find the buyers. On Wednesday, we work with suppliers. By Thursday, probably 15, 20 people in that room will get their first deal. Like literally, you know how fast it is to do a bird dog deal sometimes. And then the rest of the people will do their deals by Friday. And then on Friday, what we do is we bring in 150 experienced Subto, Astro, and Gator members into the room. People have been in the community for 2-3 years, and we mix them up, and then they do more deals together. Primarily, they'll do like agent outreach for a couple of hours and do deals. So just a full-on immersive experience that I think what all of us probably wish we had when we first started out.
Awesome. Do you do realtors come to this?
Yeah, we get a lot of real estate agents right now that are like, I'm dying on the vine. We have like one of the top EXP brokers. Like they have 20,000 agents underneath them. They're like, I need to learn this so I can go and utilize this with my 20,000 person downline. So we get that stuff all the time. They're just like, we are dying. And I don't think I think the interest rates are going to drop in September, probably even as much as like 3/4 of a point. And I think it'll be a significant drop, but I don't think it's enough. I'd be interested to hear your guys' opinion. I don't think it's enough to create a run to the bank on refinances. I think we've got to have 2 significant rate drops in order for us to get some momentum. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I 100% agree. I think once we're in low or below, once we're low fives, 5 and below, I think we're going to be in a very, very different situation than we're in right now. But that's going to take a few drops. I do believe they're going to do it aggressively paced, but I think you're on the money when it comes to how long it's going to take for that to happen.
What about you, Jerry and Brent?
Yeah, I would agree. I think we're going to see a slow market the rest of the year. I mean, all the predictions are that we'll continue to see some decreases in most markets. So I'm using that not as a negative thing, but actually as a positive thing. I mean, my conversations with sellers right now are, hey, if you call me back in 3 weeks or a month or a couple months, my price might be lower because the market's slowing down. That's what all the indicators are. I tell people that could change, but right now, all of the projections are that the market's slowing. And so I use it to create urgency with my sellers. Like, let's get something done because prices might be lower in a couple months from now.
Yeah, I always think, when you have your ear to the ground and you're talking with the people that are doing the bigger projects, that are doing the flips, that are doing the projects that take 3, 4, 5 months to complete. And then, whether they're adding square footage or they're reconfiguring a floor plan, they're getting the permitting, they're doing everything on those bigger projects. They're taking the highest sale in the neighborhood and they're multiplying that by 90%. And then they're taking the profit out of it and their costs and the fix up and all that, because they're saying, by the time I get this done in 4 months, 5 months, or get my money back out of this in 120 to 180 days, then I think the market's going to drop another 10% here locally. So I see that, and they're always going to play a little, more conservative. And they're not like, oh yeah, the rates are going to change everything, and then things are going to fly off the shelf. So they're staying really conservative. So we are as well. So that's really what we base it off of, pace, instead of like kind of, looking at, is the interest rate going to adjust by a little or a lot? I'm just having those conversations like Jamil and you guys are having these challenges. You talk to the buyers. What are you looking at there? What makes sense? How are you evaluating these deals? And what are the metrics so that we can make sure that we find you some great opportunities?
And I think on acquisitions right now, you have to be aggressive, right? Like you have to be deep. I mean, everything we're doing right now is deep. We're not contracting anything that's got skinny margins, because you're going to have a hard time on dispo if you can't bring really good deals to your buyers. They got to be deals. And the better the deal, the easier dispo is. And I want an easy dispo process. I don't want a hard dispo process. So like, I want to contract deep. I want to put that out to dispo. I want to have 10, 15, 20 buyers all clamoring for my deal. That's fun. That's fun wholesale.
Yep.
Life in the Rockies, Montana and beyond says, in my experience, it needs to be 5.5 to make sense. I think when you see a number 4 at the beginning of an interest rate, 4.99, there's going to be a mad dash for refinances. Mm-hmm. I saw my first ever 8% Subto deal a couple of weeks ago. And I mean, the majority of them are like, I'm seeing the same as always, right? It's like 57% of all mortgages in the country are below 5%. And it's something like 40% are below 4%. So still, the majority of them are below 4% that we see. But I saw my first 8% deal. So think about that. There's a lot of sellers that, with not such great credit, went out and got a 7.5 or an 8% mortgage on houses. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of those people that are in the 6s, millions of people in the 6s. The second you get to a 4.99, oh my gosh, being a loan officer is going to be the best 9-to-5 job you've ever freaking heard of.
Absolutely.
Like, holy crap. Like, go
You'll
get your loan.
be taking home 50, 60K a month when that starts happening, for sure.
Yeah, I look every single phone call I get on Pace, I look up the address on PropWire because it tells me the lender, tells me the interest rate, when they did the loan. And I'm just fascinated with that data. And it allows me to really have the conversation I want to have and have options, because I know what their equity is. I know what their loan is, what their interest rate is. And I almost can know when a conversation makes sense for creative finance, just based on their loan information that they have on their property. Tells you everything, And so it's more and more common now to see these 5% interest rates from the last couple of years. Like if you went out and got a loan in the last couple of years, you're probably in the 5s, high 5s.
Right. Here's a good question. You boys have probably all done this. Jordan Cohn says, can you guys wholesale a property with a non-paying tenant that does not want to leave? Brent Daniels.
Yeah, listen, you have to have a conversation with them, Jordan. Oftentimes there is, some angst. There's not the best relationship between the landlord and the tenant. So you got to first, have a conversation with the tenant and see what's going on there. Are they not paying because the landlord said that they were going to fix the roof or the AC or the plumbing or the whatever else, and they haven't done it? So they're like, hey, I'm not paying you until you do some things to this property. Or is it somebody that's like squatting and they're really taking advantage of the system and really trying to, just live somewhere for free? So that's the first approach. Oftentimes, I would say 9 times out of 10 in Phoenix here, the tenant and landlord relationship is just not good. And so we go in there, we have a conversation with them, and we'll offer cash for keys. offer to help them move, offer to get, a moving truck, down payment on a new rental or something like that. We'll offer that for the tenant just to make it go a lot smoother for the transaction. Sometimes you have to evict them. Sometimes you have to go through the eviction process, and some of the buyers we work with have no problem with that, but that's a small pool. So the bigger pool of buyers obviously wants that property vacant. They want to get their hands on it right away. But there are some at the right price point that'll take on that problem tenant, and you can assign it to them and have them do it. Or you could close on it yourself and go through the eviction process, which we've done in the past, maybe 1 or 2 times, but not much.
I would like to add to what Brent just said, because we've seen this a lot. This is one of those things that landlords will do, is sell to a wholesaler, and they'll say, hey, look, I don't want to deal with this situation. I don't want to deal with the guy. I don't want to have anything to do with the eviction. I, in fact, don't even want you approaching the tenant until after this deal is done. And so what is the implications of that? Well, first, you're not going to get access. So that's one of the big things I want you to keep in mind, because access is typically an important aspect of selling a deal. So now if you're not getting access, what does that mean your buyer has to do? They have to buy sight unseen. The best they're going to do is a drive-by of the house. The outside of the house is going to have to give them an indication of what's happening on the inside of the house. And so that's a big thing. So you need to be in contract on this thing, typically about 10% lower at least than what you would normally be on that deal, to accommodate for a buyer taking the risk of buying sight unseen. So if that's the case, Jordan, you can 1,000% wholesale that deal. Just don't overpay for it. You're going to definitely need it to be deep in order for a buyer to take that risk on and take it sight unseen. Or what Brent just said is you can close on the property yourself, evict the tenant, and then you have all of that value. That eviction could make you $20,000 in value just by closing, holding, and evicting. So don't shoot yourself in the foot by underselling it because you don't want to take the risk of closing it. If it's a deal and you feel confident and people have making you feel confident about it, close on that sucker. Close on that sucker, evict those people, and get the extra 20, 30K that you'd get doing it that route.
I would add, Jamil, to that. You have to remember, Jordan, like, what do we do as wholesalers? We solve problems. That's our job. When a seller brings to you a problem, like a non-paying tenant, those are the best deals ever, because you can now provide the solution. You'll tell that seller, I can buy this property. I will take that non-paying tenant. I will handle all of the headache of everything that comes with that tenant. You get to walk away with peace of mind and cash in your pocket. What does that look like? And just like Jamil and Brent said, you negotiate your best deals. The bigger the problem, the bigger the solution you provide, the bigger the discount, the more money you make. You want to make more money? Solve more problems or bigger problems. That's how it works in real estate. Solve the big problems, get the big paychecks. That's how it goes. Like, I love when there's a big problem like that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Here's a good question right here. Pace, do you know when you are coming to Canada? I looked at your page, where is Pace, but I couldn't find the exact date. Just kind of borough. Anyway, I don't know what you're saying. That must be a Canadian thing. Sorry, Jamil, that was a Canadian joke. Jamil and I will be coming to Canada on our road trip. I don't know what dates Jamil's going to be on the road trip or not. He's in the process of.
Bro, I just committed to your team the entire thing.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool, awesome.
Starting in Alaska and going the whole damn thing.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. So for those of you guys that don't know, Jamil and I are going on a massive trip. We've never done anything like this. And if you go to whereispace.com, you will see on whereispace.com that you can see every single place that we are going and also the dates that are associated. So we are going to every single city you can kind of imagine over the next couple of months. And we start in, October.
End of October.
Let me show you guys this, okay? I'll show you guys where we end in Jerry's house.
For Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, let me show this to you guys. So check it out. So this is the first leg of the trip. By this time, Jamil and I have already been to Alaska, we've been to Hawaii, and we've been to Oklahoma. Okay, so you can go on whereispace.com to see the exact dates. We then follow A all the way to Z on this list. And if you look on this, or I'm sorry, A to T, stands for Thanksgiving. That's where Jamil and I are going to be spending Thanksgiving potentially. I don't know if Jamil will be there for that, but we will be at the Norton family farm for Thanksgiving on this date. Then you go to leg number 2, going all the way up the East Coast, all the way around into letter R. You'll see where we will be stopping for New York City, New Jersey, Philadelphia for a 4-day stint during Christmas. Then we'll swoop around. And for New Year's, Jamil and I will be going to Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And then we will be going and flying from Detroit down to Miami. So that's letter A all the way down there. While Jamil and I are in there in letter A, we will be flying over to Puerto Rico. Depending on if Jerry owns a hotel there or not, at that point, we might be staying in the hotel, but we will be doing a big Puerto Rico meetup during that time. Then you can see all the cities we go and meander across and kind of stair step across the United States. That is our 3rd leg of the trip. And during our 4th leg of the trip, we go to Vancouver.
Hey.
And all down the West Coast. And so there's not a single part of the country that Jamil and I will miss or not get to that is over an hour to any other location. Like if you are anywhere in the country, you can get to one of our meetups within an hour of driving. Some of these states we're going to, like California, we've got 5 stops. Texas, we've got 7. Florida, we've got 8. Albuquerque or New Mexico, you get 1. North and South Dakota, you get 1. But we are doing a meetup in every single state, 3 cities in Canada, and 1 in Puerto Rico. We are also doing Hawaii and Alaska. So there's not a single city or state you can come to us and go, you're not coming to my state. Yes, we are. Go to whereispace.com and RSVP for your city because we are working on locations and details. Here's what we're going to be doing. We are going to get newbies their first deal every single day in these meetups. You need to get to these meetups. If you have not done a deal, here's a way I can guarantee you're going to get a deal. Show up to these meetups. Connect with our community members. We're going to do competition style, doing deals for 2 hours, showing you guys start to finish how to send out contracts and lock deals up 100 freaking days in a row, like a couple of gangsters that are just high on their meds. Okay. So, whereispace.com. All right. And yes, we are going to Colorado Springs. Pace, are you bringing wife and kids the whole trip? I'm trying to. We would have to take our daughter out of school, and that's a significant change. We'll see what happens. Okay. Jesus Torres, is a 35% markdown too low? Will I miss out on deals with such a low offer? What's the sweet spot? Jerry, Jamil, what are your thoughts here?
Well, 35% of what? The current value or ARV? Because I would say that's not low enough.
Yeah, if it's ARV, you're not low enough. You're that 65 cents on the dollar, you're not low enough. You got to be like 50 cents on the dollar. Use this.
I want to just quickly button that with Jesus. What I think I'm seeing there is that your belief is that we are trying to undercut or pay less for what something is worth. That's not what we're doing here, bro. Remember, you are looking for opportunities on distressed property, and so we need to buy it for what the condition it's in. You're not underpaying. You're not marking down. You're not lowballing here. You're offering 100% of as is value. Okay, that's exactly what you're doing, and you're getting a fee by creating an opportunity of potential for your buyer. If you know how to curate the potential for your buyer, then what it's worth to them will dictate how much money you get to make. But I really don't want you to go out there feeling like you're lowballing people. You're not lowballing people. You're actually just making honest offers.
Can I show something real quick, guys? I'm going to share the screen real quick because I think that this is really important to understand a term in real estate. and it's called illiquidity. Okay, you might not be able to see that, but illiquid assets are assets that are difficult to sell quickly for their fair market value. Examples include real estate, antiques, and private company interest. These assets may take time to find a buyer and may not fetch the desired price when sold quickly. Real estate, houses, commercial buildings, and land are generally considered illiquid because finding a buyer can take time, and the sale process, listing, negotiation, closing can be lengthy. What does that mean to you guys? What does illiquid mean?
No money, no access to capital. Money's stuck.
It's tough to sell it. So when somebody wants cash out of their property in 4 days, okay, or 5 days, or whatever, they want it done in a month or shorter. Usually these deals are done shorter, 21 days or less. They understand that to find a buyer that's going to make that happen, that they're going to have to work on the price that buyer has put in front of them, or go and get multiple offers. Get as much as you can for the property. I celebrate every property owner that wants to get as much as they can for the property. But if there's nobody willing to buy it, then what is the value of the property?
What you'll pay for it.
Ready, willing, and able buyer. You can Google that, ready, willing, and able buyer. It's been pounded into everybody's head. Anybody that's gone through real estate licensing school, ready, willing, and able buyer determines the value of a property. That's it. Not the government, not appraisals, not the seller, certainly not the seller. Every seller would put their property on the market for $10 million, right? It's not going to sell. It's only when there's a ready, willing, and able buyer. Illiquidity is a really important definition. It's a really important word to understand. We're not talking about flipping something that's, super fast to turn, a Bitcoin, selling a Bitcoin or something. You know what I mean?
All right, let's go. I have a property under contract in Macon, Georgia, looking for cash buyers. Anyone have buyers in that area? Here's how to find buyers. Watch how easy this is. I learned this from Jerry Norton, one of my best friends. Watch this. I'm telling you, Jerry knows a thing or two about how to do stuff. So hold on a second. Let me pull this up. All right, let's go to, I know this company, it's called propwire.com. And I have a login for my PropWire. I promise you, check it out. And by the way, I do pay for PropWire because I believe in paying for the actual subscription. I ain't no brokey. Sorry, guys. I like to pay for stuff because I get skip tracing and all the things. So let's go to, what did he say? Macon, Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go to Macon, Bacon, Georgia. Okay, Macon, Georgia. We're going to go to, let's see, cash buy. Come on. How many buttons did I have to click? 2. Guys, finding buyers is 2 clicks away. It's easier to find a cash buyer than it is to open up Instagram. Okay? That was too easy. Is there a harder way? Like, can we do it the old way? People had to do it like 15 years ago, Jerry?
Yeah. So
Jerry, what else would you do here? Like, I know that I found 1,800 cash buyers. That's too many. So, like, what should I do here?
Yeah. So go to the More tab over there on the top. Yep, More, and then go to Financial.
Okay.
And you could select a date down where it says last sale date and say, okay, I only want to look at cash buyers who bought in the last year.
Okay, I'm going to go back to August of 2024. Click on that. And that's it. Boom, 103 buyers. Guys, that's all you need. Actually, 103 might even be too many. There you go, 60. These are your 60 buyers.
Now
right
click
here.
on one of those cards there on the right, just any of them, one of those properties.
Okay.
And then go to owner, the owner tab up there right under the address. And this is cool. Now this person only owns, don't do that. You don't need to do that. This person only owns 1 property, but it'll tell you how many properties they own, which I love because it tells you a lot about who you're dealing with.
Let's see this one. This one has these people. Let's see, owner. Okay, this person has 2 properties. Let's go to another one. This person has 1. Cool.
It's fun when you find something.
What's your sweet spot, Pace? What's your sweet spot? You like them to have what, 5 or more, or what do you look for?
For me, I like to find buyers that have 5 deals done per year up to 25. I feel like that's kind of the sweet spot. They're kind of like a mom and pop investor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys kind of agree with that?
Yep.
Put that filter in. So click out of here, Pace. Go back to the More tab.
All right.
Go back over there more and reset all your filters to get rid of that one you just put right down there. Yeah. Okay. Now go back to More and go to, yeah, there you go. Put 5 right there. And then
I'm going to put a max of 50. Boom, 726. But I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's see if we can get this down.
Now, what I recommend you do, Pace, is if like this person, I forget who said that, but I would zoom into your area, and then I would start contacting buyers that are actively investing close by your property because they're going to be most interested in your deal. Start
okay.
there. So let's say he was on, that part of town. Go look over there first. All investors love to do.
Jerry, why would somebody who owns a home close to where your subject property is, why would they be interested in it? What makes them a more qualified person or somebody that you'd really want to connect to?
Because every investor loves to do repeat deals where they're already doing deals. So if you own rentals, you want more right in the same neighborhood. If you're a flipper, you already know your area, you already have contractors, you have an agent, you've already done the work to understand that local market. So another deal across the street is awesome. It just makes it easy. They pull the trigger fast because they know
it. They can make a fast decision. They know the area. They know the values. They know how quickly they rent. They know the whole thing. They don't have to be sold. They've already sold themselves. They just need to be served.
Yeah, they're not like, what part of town is that? I got to go underwrite it. They already know.
So guys, this is exactly how you find a buyer, right? So when people are saying, I need a buyer, guys, it is so simple. Propwire.com. Is there some sort of affiliate code so I can afford to buy a new one of these G-Shock watches if I push?
You have one. You always forget to use it.
What is it?
I forget. I'll find it out right now.
Guys, I'm trying to make some money to feed the bus that Jamil and I are going to be traveling around the country. Use my PropWire affiliate so I can afford some gas. Okay.
What kind of bus is it, Pace?
It is a 40-foot tour bus, 2025. Bought it on seller finance, no money down.
Crazy.
Yeah. A new bus. Seller
finance. It has like 300 miles on it. The guy's wife got sick. He just customized this thing. He spent $580,000 on it, and he's selling it to me for $325,000.
He spent $500,000 on this bus.
Customizing this bus, it's insanity. And sleeps 8, brand new. I don't think anybody's even pooped in it, so you could say that's kind of nice.
Can I break it in, Jace? Can I break it in?
Yeah, you could break it in. You could have your 11th child in there. It would be great. Dimitri says PropWire is so good it's stupid. Guys, go on there and email PropWire and tell them to use Pace's code on everything so we can afford this gas money. Okay,
Pace, you have a custom code. It's getpropwire.com.
Oh, get PropWire. Yeah, there you guys go to getpropwire.com so you can get me and Jamil some fuel to come and hang out with you. Jamil, this is a good line right here. They don't need to be sold. They need to be served. That's a Jamil gem. Okay, so Eustace Elms. Should I find buyers first before I lock up deals? Here's my opinion. I think Brent, Jamil, and Jerry probably agree with this. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to comp properties, don't lock sellers up into contracts. It's immoral. I think it's one of the reasons why the National Association of Realtors hates us. It's one of the reasons why the Attorney General of every state hates wholesalers. It's why they're outlawing wholesaling across the nation, is because people watch these YouTube videos and they don't pay all the way attention. Oh my gosh. Hi, Evie. We love you, Evie. Evie, hang out with us. Oh, hi, Grace.
Sorry to interrupt. We thought Dad was watching a video.
Hey, Grace, we love you. You're amazing.
Love you guys.
So The situation is, I believe that you should find a buyer if you don't know how to comp. Because when I was learning how to do the business, Jamil was my buyer. And so Jamil told me what price to lock everything up at. He literally changed the game for me. Pace, lock it up at this price, we can both make money. Pace, lock it up at this price, you can make 20 grand. Pace, lock it, like that was so needed for me to go in and negotiate. In my life, I know I'm an anomaly, but I have probably canceled 2 contracts out of 2,000 plus deals. Maybe I haven't done that many. I've probably done 1,000 contracts. And I've probably canceled 2 that I can even think of because I found my buyer first, and I never put my seller in a situation that I have to cancel on them or renegotiate. For me, there is nothing freaking worse than renegotiating with my seller, or even worse, an agent and losing the relationship. Brent, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, in this market especially, but if you're just getting started out, you need somebody to recognize, is this a deal or not a deal? You know what I mean? And that's going to be so critical because it's moving. There's so much turbulence in a market like this that you don't really know, you have confidence when you're starting out. Is this a deal or not a deal? I would squat up with somebody that's already doing this business for sure to help you with that. And they're going to open you up to so many buyers. You know what I mean? And just the floodgates will open up with opportunities to meet incredible people. So don't do this alone. It is the theme of the show that we've been doing for 5 years. Squad up. You have to squad up with people that are a few years ahead of you, a few steps ahead of you. There is unbelievable resources. You could go to keyglee.com right now and find unbelievable people around the country that all they do is talk to cash buyers all day long, and you can connect with them. It's incredible. And so, yeah, 100%. You need to have the confidence going in there that the offer that you're making to that seller is going to get done, without a doubt.
We just closed a deal with one of our finder students, and he brings us this deal, and it's a great deal, but there's an agent involved, and it's messy, just messy. And this is his first deal. Aaron's his name, brand new to real estate. And we step in, my team steps in full, on court press. There is absolutely no way Aaron on his first deal would have gotten this deal to the finish line if he was on his own. He would not, he had no idea what he was up against with this deal. And I mean, for us, it was a lot of work. We had to redo some things. We had to extend some contracts. We had to there was just a lot of moving parts. We got it to the finish line. He got a $10,000 check, and it's his first deal. So, guys, there's so much value in aligning. If you're brand new to the business and you don't really know what you're doing, there's so much value in aligning with people that do know what they're doing.
Yeah, my first 20 deals were to the same 3 or 4 people. Maybe the first 40 deals, 50 deals. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'm not making the full amount, but didn't stop the momentum, kept things going. I got really good at communicating with property owners, and I knew that these deals were going to get done, and it was going to be for the most part, as smooth as possible. So it's kind of a rite of passage, I feel like, right?
Yeah,
totally. I absolutely agree. Yeah.
All right,
there's a question in here saying they've been trying to skip trace on PropWire, but it doesn't give active numbers. I do want to just make a comment here, and please take this with as much kindness as I'm trying to impart by saying it. Brother, you are not making enough calls. Okay, the reality of what's happening right now is you've tried a few, they were inactive, and you've made a story in your head that the numbers are not active. That's not true. The reality is you got to call a lot of people, and skip tracing is skip tracing. I mean, there's going to be hits and there's going to be misses. That's why he gives you multiple numbers per contact, but you got to do a lot. You got to cast wide nets out there, friends. You can't give up after a few tries. You can't give up after 10 tries. You got to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep calling. There are a lot of well connected phone numbers in there. I've used it myself. It's a great skip tracing product. And I'm not just saying that because Jerry's my friend. I'm saying it because it's real. The truth is, brother, you got to make more calls.
Yeah. I mean, put it this way. we buy from the same place where all the big data providers buy. At some point in time, when you're a big enough data provider, it all comes from the same place. So it's an isolated experience when you're having bad numbers or whatever. It's just part of the business. It's not going to be 100% hit rate. When people start saying this doesn't work and that doesn't work, it's because you're not using a large enough sample size, is what Jamil's trying to say. So like, get a bigger list and do it again. Do it tomorrow. There's times where I call for hours and no one answers the phone, and I just keep doing it because I know it's part of the game. It's just how we have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could always go to True People Search. If skips don't work every once in a while, that'll work okay. Jerry, any new regulations pending, brother?
Oh, I was talking with Brent earlier today about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, guys, you have to assume that if your state does not have regulation right now, that it's either working on a bill, there's a bill in process, or something's about to get passed, because it's basically, that's the number one hot spot right now, or the hot button is wholesaling. So yeah, there's a really terrible one that's not passed yet in North Carolina. There's a really terrible one in West Virginia.
What makes it terrible, Jerry?
I mean, they're just really, really badly written. The North Carolina basically says any transaction that's not your primary residence is wholesaling, and buyers can back out of contracts. Now, if that passes,
Buyers?
Sellers.
What's that?
Sellers
Sellers.
can back out. Yeah.
Yeah, sellers can back out. Yeah, so they're defining wholesaling so loosely that it includes all transactions other than a primary residence. So this is what I told Brent. I said, Brent, if you want to buy your mom's house and keep it as a rental, that's wholesaling, according to the law, the way it's written right now in North Carolina. So anyway,
so essentially, it just gives a seller carte blanche right to just walk away, shop your offer, play games, create all kinds of problems in the escrow process, because we've seen sellers do some interesting things when they're in contract, right? They get called by other people. They get wholesalers who don't know what they're doing, over promising. How many times has that happened in all of our careers, where you talk to somebody and they've been given an offer, which we all know there's no way that offer could stick, because it's just not, it doesn't make sense. And look, as much as people want to say, hey, buyers are this, investors are that, they're making money off of people, they're all the things, right? Well, what about a seller who is basically trying to get an extra $50,000 or $100,000 from somebody based off the condition of their house? It goes both ways, guys. Yeah. It goes both ways, right? Investors have to be honest, and sellers have to be honest about what they have. That's the fact. But how many times have we been in deals where your seller all of a sudden gets contacted by a competitor or somebody else in the business, and they give them this cockamamie, complete BS higher offer just to blow the deal up, only to disappear and not close the transaction, and then
file a memo.
And that exactly. And so that is, it's going to be so bad for wholesaling in North Carolina. It'd be so bad for real estate transactions in general in North Carolina. And I want to just say this one last thing. What about fixing and flipping, right? What about all the homes that are in disrepair that need to be repositioned, that need financial investment in order for them to be to be in line with what's going on in the neighborhood? Without wholesalers taking on the responsibility of doing and picking up the garbage that we pick up and clean up a lot of areas. We absolutely do. And when these fix and flippers go in and beautify the house and add value to it and make the community safer and make the community worth more and do all those things, without wholesaling there's a problem. These fix and flippers don't have the time to go and find the deals. They're spending their time on job sites doing their part. So we really have to do our best to protect this and make this make sense for everybody, because without us, I truly feel that the machine breaks.
Yeah, definitely. Have you heard of the Washington state law that did pass? Do you know about this one, Pace?
Yeah, I have heard about it. It's crazy.
Yeah. And in Washington
tell us about it.
Yeah, here's the short end of it. In Washington state, any transaction that's not a primary residence, the seller has the right to an appraisal that the seller chooses. So you can't, the buyer doesn't choose the appraiser. Licensed appraiser, seller chooses it, buyer pays for it. So the buyer has to pay a $500 appraisal. When the seller gets the appraisal back, he has the right to cancel the contract based on that appraisal. Now, there's one exception, and this is where NAR and real estate agents freaking genius. The exception to this rule is if there is a real estate agent involved in the transaction, either on the buyer side or the seller side, you don't have to follow that rule. So in essence, what they've done is they've eliminated the private sector. There will be a real estate agent getting a commission on every single transaction, because what wholesaler in their right mind is going to pay $500 for an appraisal when the seller can just shop that or find another or cancel or whatever? There's no way you're going to spend that money and waste your time doing that. So now there's going to have to be a real estate agent on the transaction. That
means that this law has full faith and confidence in a real estate agent's capacity to value a home.
Yeah,
which we all know is
somehow an agent is the moral authority of the market now, because they passed a test and they hold a license.
Is that what happens in Canada, Jamil?
In Canada,
sounds like Canada.
It is. I mean, first of all, Canada is it's a socialist country, right? And so we got to remember that. I'm not saying this to make any political remark. I love Canada. I visit there all the time. My family's Canadian. I was just there yesterday, 2 days ago. But that's exactly what it is. They have real estate agents have controlled the entire market there. They don't release any data to the public. So the public has no clue how much properties sell for. If you want to know how much a property sold for in your block, you've got to work with a real estate agent who has to then go into the MLS and tell you. And you rely on real estate agents for opinions of value. And I have to say this. The reality is, guys, is I have been done dirty by more real estate agents in their opinion of value than I have anyone else, even more than sellers. I have the gymnastics that I've seen real estate agents do to try to convince me to buy a deal that's not a deal is laughable sometimes. It is absolutely insane that is the level of power you give them, but they're not even getting the training that they need to make educated decisions. So it's an interesting approach.
Remember, I saw someone ask, well, what about double closing? Guys, this has nothing to do with wholesaling in Washington. It has to do with contracting with sellers. It's nothing to do with wholesaling. If you contract a seller and it's not your primary residence, I don't care what you're going to do with the property, the seller has the right to an appraisal that you pay for, any buyer. So if it's a rental, fix and flip, or wholesale, any buyer would have to pay for the appraisal. Seller can back out unless someone in the transaction has a real estate agent involved. So the workaround here is going to be—
seller waive that, Jerry?
You can't waive it.
You can't waive it. So
not only can you not waive it, you have to put in a specific font size in the contract so the seller knows their right and signs off that they know their right to the appraisal.
No, I mean, can the seller, say the seller wants to get their money out in a week and they can't get an appraiser in there, they can't do all that. You know what I mean? Well, can they waive their right to it?
Yeah. If they waive their right to the appraisal, they have a 10-day window to cancel the contract. If they elect to do the appraisal, they have 4 days after getting the appraisal back to cancel the contract. So they can still, they don't have to do the appraisal, but they have to be told they have that right and that the buyer has to pay for it.
Sure.
So the workaround here, I think, for wholesalers in Washington State is going to be, I found nowhere that said you couldn't self-represent. All it said was seller or buyer has to have real estate agent representation. So I read that to mean you could self-represent. So if you're licensed, you can represent yourself. And there you go. So anyway, the point, though, is that there's no more private sector in Washington State. A real estate agent's got their grubby fingers on every single transaction, and commissions are going to be passed around on every single transaction.
Wow.
They're the authority somehow.
Hey, Christian Nation is saying, I'm confused, Jerry. I thought you always needed an agent to work with as a wholesaler. You do it all the time. I watch your videos, and that's what you say. All of your videos, you call it double dipping. No?
Well, yeah, that's when we're going after listed on market properties, or if we're doing an agent model where we're working with agents to find deals. That's one area of wholesaling. I'm just talking about direct to seller. So direct to seller, where there's no agents involved. It wasn't a referral from an agent. It wasn't a listed property. You did marketing or got in front of a distressed seller in some way or another, and you're now having a conversation, you're negotiating and you're contracting. Private transactions, guys. I mean, that is like your God-given right for citizens of the United States to transact with each other however they want. That now is mandated that by law that a real estate agent is in the transaction. Unless you want to pay $500 every time you lock up a deal, which I wouldn't do that. So
and that's moving closer and closer and closer and closer to the socialist way. I mean, that's exactly what they're doing up in a socialist country. And we keep getting, guys, we are slowly but surely having so much of our liberty just as entrepreneurs and capitalists taken away from us. It's sad.
Yeah, you guys have to not, like, I think about it like, okay, I'll just buy it. I'm not opposed to getting a license, big deal, whatever. It is a big deal because it's just one more small move, like Jamil said, where you're getting your rights taken away, and everyone should be up in arms over this. Like, I don't know how Washington didn't throw a fit. This bill was proposed, and there wasn't like mass opposition to this law in Washington State.
What about like for sale by owners? You can't sell it for sale by owner?
Private transaction? No.
As a seller?
Nope.
This is socialism, bro.
Yeah, full on, man. Now, West Virginia, they proposed a bill, hasn't passed, so it's not law. So don't think this is law, but it just shows you where we're headed. West Virginia, they call it the Anti-Wholesaling Act. And in the law, in the written law, it says, we don't want any part of it. There is no wholesaling allowed at all in West Virginia. Now, they define wholesaling as equitable interest. If you're transacting with equitable interest, that's wholesaling. That's illegal if it passes. So then what is equitable interest? Well, equitable interest is anything you don't legally own yet. So that's an assignment, that's a double close, and that's a novation. So you can't say, well, I'll double close around it. That's what we've been doing. Double close around the law. Okay, fine. But they're wisening up to all that. They're finding the loopholes and closing them. So, guys, everyone's got to step up here. What's going to happen here, I think, is to do this business, you're going to have to be a real investor with real money, own stuff, buy it, do some value add maybe, even if it's clean it out, trash it out, take new pictures and relist it. Like, that's where I think we're heading in the industry.
I unfortunately agree with you.
But guys, look at it like an opportunity, right? Like, I know, like, I talked to Pace, and Pace is like, good, not good, but like, I'm not worried. Well, that's because
actually, I do say good, Jerry.
But it's because, Pace, you're not afraid to raise capital. You're not afraid to adapt. You're not afraid to adjust. When you look at it like, well, if one door closes, another one opens. Here's what the regulators need to understand, and this is what Jamil was saying earlier. If you take the wholesaler out of the equation, you take competition away. All that's going to do is hurt the seller, because now the capitalized players that are left are going to buy deeper because they have to account for finance.
And you're forcing an unnecessary 6% tax on your sellers as well, guys. Yeah. You are forcing an unnecessary 6% tax on these people. When the average assignment fee is $15,000, it's a lot less than the 6% that you're having them pay real estate agents instead. That, to me, is laughable.
That's a crime. That an agent has to get paid in the transaction by law. That all that's doing is coming out of the seller's pocket, because now someone's got to pay that commission. So you're just hurting the sellers. When there's 5 less wholesalers to make the offer on that property, then the person left gets a deeper buy. You do not want to eliminate wholesalers. You eliminate competition.
Christian Nation says, guys, don't make me worry. I'm barely starting. I haven't even closed my first deal, and the entire business is falling apart. That is Christian Nation. That is absolutely not even remotely close to the business is falling apart. I actually think the business is being created for the willing. I think it's way more fruitful, way more profitable. What Jerry's talking about is there's just as many deals. The problem is the sellers are going to have to take it in the shorts, not us, right? Because the reality is you guys need to understand we are not competing against agents. I don't compete against agents. I never have. Brent never has. Jamil never has. And Jerry has never competed against agents. The sellers that need a wholesale solution don't need a real estate agent because the agent can't move fast enough. It doesn't give them enough speed and convenience. Those sellers don't just magically go away with regulation, Christian nation. So if you know there's just as many people out there that need the solution of wholesale, the only difference is you're no longer wholesaling. What you're doing is you're buying the property. That's where it's scary, right? Committing. It's like, no, I want to keep dating the same girl and never marry her. I get it. Peter Pan syndrome. You never want to grow up. You want to be a Toys R Us kid. There's so many toys at Toys R Us that you want to play with. I get it. You want to stay little. But the reality is the smart wholesalers, the smart people that are actually going to dominate the industry, we are well capitalized with other people's money. Write that down. We are not using we're not using our money. So this belief system of I'm new, I'm not going to be able to do that. Jerry has a funding program. I have a funding program. I literally fund the first 10 deals of brand new students, 100%. The belief system of I can't do it is incorrect. So you now have the correct information, Christian nation. Okay. There are just as many deals and there are just as many situations that agents cannot solve. This doesn't matter. What's funny about the legislation is it doesn't just magically give agents any more tools to solve problems. They still have the same amount of tools to solve problems, which is list a property and pray to God that it sells. That's their tool.
In fact, brother, I think it actually diminishes them, because when agents go up against people who are knowledgeable about value, knowledgeable about condition, knowledgeable about where the property actually would trade at, the agents either adapt and get better or they disappear. And now if you remove the competition, if you remove the necessity for the agent to sharpen themselves up, then what happens? People just get lazy. They just do. How many listings are on the market right now that are $100K overpriced? How many listings are $100,000 or more overpriced in America right now? Millions.
All of them.
Millions.
Yep. Yeah, you're
listen,
right. It's a huge opportunity.
I think from the government standpoint, they find somebody that is in distress with their property, a protected class, and they want to protect them. And I understand that. And they want to put these regulations in front. Some states you need to have a license. Some states you need to disclose. Some states now you can't do it. You just have to buy it and give them an appraisal beforehand. But I'm telling you, if that was instituted tomorrow in Arizona, all right, go get your appraisal done. Those appraisers going to these properties that we're working with, guys. I mean, these are not like turnkey rental properties. These aren't properties that you can just put a new coat of paint on and get full market value. The properties that we run into are destroyed. They've been destroyed for years. They've got so much dysfunction going on with all the mechanical items of a property. It is crazy. I would love to see the opinion of an appraiser on these things. I watch what they put in for the estimated repair budgets for some of these properties, because they'll go $100 a square foot, $200 a square foot. I bet you some of the appraisers won't even go into the properties with all these animals, not the people, the actual like pets that people have in these properties. But you know what I mean? I would love it. You know what? we should just do an appraisal every time we make an offer. It would be really interesting to see what response, because I've seen appraisers come all over the place. I've seen beautiful properties that sold within hours go lower in the appraiser because the appraiser just couldn't find the right comps. And I've seen properties completely destroyed, and that appraiser basically gives them like tax value or land value for that property. I've had more appraisers tell me that the property needs to be bulldozed than any other contractor or any other buyer or anything. So it's going to be really interesting that the appraiser's perspective on how much that property is worth based on the condition. It's as is condition. It's going to be very interesting to see how this shakes out.
But why would you? Like, if you're, here's the way I look at it, guys. Like, if you're going to wholesale in Washington, I would think you want to do a wholesale operation, like a business. And a business needs a model. It needs a process. It needs predictability. Yep. And there's no predictability in paying appraisals and then hoping the seller still moves forward. Like, that's money up front with no guarantee that they're going to move forward. So you're just not going to do it. It's just not going to make any sense to do a business that way. What you're going to do is you're going to do what they want you to do, which is go get a license, pay the dues, join the board, pay for the MLS, and they get their money, which is what they want, and you keep doing your thing. You're just a licensed wholesaler now. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Get a license.
You can't work your way around it now. That's all. You used to be able to, I'm not going to get my license. I'm going to double close. I'm going to do this or that. Now they found a way to make you get licensed.
I saw a reel of somebody that we all know that's in the coaching space and service space. And he admits to doing like hundreds, if not maybe dozens of deals in Illinois without a license. And he's like, yeah, it's fine as long as nobody reports you.
Oh my God. I mean, you can rob a bank unless you get caught. It's fine unless you get caught.
Oh my God.
Everything times 0, you know what I mean? Like, man, that is risky.
You can do anything until you get busted. That's true.
Yeah. But I mean, you've had to have your license in Chicago since 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I guess that guy really enjoys prison.
Or a lot of fees, I guess. I don't know.
In Illinois, it's a $25,000 fine for a first offense. So, like, what are you doing, man? Like, that's your operation.
And you put it on video?
Yeah. I'm going to run a business where I take the risk of getting a $25,000 fine. That's my business model.
And then brag about it.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm in the same camp. I'm in the same camp as Pace, which is if they want to introduce stuff that's going to create friction, that's going to get rid of competition, and people are going to not join this business. Now, it's not great for coaching and education because less people, don't want to learn it and do it. But as far as a transactor, as far as a real estate investor, the more friction they create, the more I'm going to succeed because I'm willing to do the thing to be at the top. I'm willing to do the extra work. Whatever they want, I'll do. And I'll figure out the solutions. And I'll be one of the few left while everyone else runs for something easier. I'll stay in and I'll make more money. Like if you have that attitude, whoever that was earlier, like if you have that attitude, there's nothing stopping you. You're going to make 10 times more money when these things come out because you're going to be willing to do the extra thing that other people aren't.
Agents compete against other agents. That is correct. I really appreciate all of you guys. Question, Brent.
Jonah's been posting that a lot, and we went through it, but in this, find your buyer for sure. Yep, find your buyer. Squat up with other wholesalers. Find somebody that's already doing this business.
Jonah wanted to hear it from you, Brent.
Yeah, there you go, Jonah. We got you, brother. Thank you for being persistent.
The problem is he doesn't respect people that don't have muscles, and so he's going to keep asking until Brent.
Come on, Jonah.
And honestly,
Jonah knows it.
Don't blame him at all.
How many inches are those suckers right now, Brent?
I'm trying to get him down. I'm trying to lean up, Jamil. Trying to be more sinewy.
I just seen those pipes right now, and I thought, my goodness, look how in shape this guy is. Jeez Louise.
Not bad for a guy that's 5'4". You know what I mean?
You're not 5'4".
Okay, so we've had a couple of questions from Canada people, Canadians, because your guys' country is total shit. Sorry, guys. And what I mean by that is that your country hates you making money. What I mean by that specifically is they require you to renew your mortgages every 5 years like a bunch of freaking lunatics. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Brent and Jerry, did you guys know that?
No.
Yeah. The amortized over 30, but every 5 years we have to re-qualify for a loan. So even if you got a loan at 2% back in COVID times, you now are refining into the 7s.
You're forced. So think about this. If you are a Canadian right now and you got these low interest rates, you have no choice but to re-qualify for these loans, and they push you at a new interest rate. So
what if you don't qualify? Like, what if you're?
Then you don't qualify. Then they call your note due, and you have to get out of that house. Absolutely, that's how it works, bro. That's how I ended up getting tanked in Canada.
Right,
left.
Yeah,
because none of the buyers who I had sold my condos to could qualify once they changed their lending conditions, bro. The banks are crooked up there.
It's the same in the UK. Dimitri says.
There's a bunch of countries that have this exact situation. So here's the answer.
In the Netherlands, you can't even sell for like 6 months, right, Dimitri? It's something like you can't. If you contract, you can't close for like 6 months. It's insane.
Yeah, the interesting thing about it is most of the Canadians I know, I could name them all off the top of my head, all the way from Quebec all the way over to Toronto and Vancouver. They are all wholesaling and buying real estate in America. The answer is yes. You can buy real estate in America as a Canadian citizen. It is very simple. If you can wholesale from North Carolina all the way over to Arizona, and Arizona up to Montana, and New York to Seattle, there's nothing stopping you other than your internet connection from doing deals inside of the United States. So the answer is absolutely yes. Our community has 29 countries doing deals outside of their own country into America. We have an Israeli community with 200 members that are mostly buying deals in Atlanta, Florida, and North Carolina. We have a full-on Indian community. We have a full-on Mexico community, massive Canadian community. And guess what? None of them are doing deals in Canada unless they're paying off the houses in cash after they've made their wholesale fees in America and built their portfolios in America. They're then selling and putting money into Canada. They love their country too, but they realize that America is 10 times better, not because we have Brent Daniels, okay, Captain America himself, but because we have better regulations, or better yet, no regulations. And we don't what? You have to re-qualify for your mortgage every 5 years? Like, you are decimating your countrymen. And so when I say your guys' country sucks, I don't mean the people. I mean your government. Your government is total shit. And you guys know it. And you guys can go ahead and stop buying all of our American products. That is fine. But you can step into buying our American real estate, and we are happy to have you do so. So
yeah, Dimitri's on our show every week. I've done some content with him. I think you guys know him. He's in the Netherlands, and he wholesales actively every single month in Florida, down in Florida. Yeah, he does land in Florida. You know, he does really well. It's like a 6-hour time zone or something, and doesn't let any of that crap stop him. Like, guys, if you're in another country and you say you can't wholesale in America, you're just making excuses. Yes, you can. Figure out how to cross country lines and do it. Like, heck yeah, man. Why not? You have everything at your disposal with data and everything else in America to do deals.
Are we the only country like this? Like, is there other countries that has, so much freedom to transact real estate? There's nowhere, right?
No, nowhere, anywhere remotely close. There's some parts of the EU that are pretty cool. But overall, I mean, dude, we have 29 countries in Subto. Portugal is pretty cool. Okay, Portugal is pretty good. There's a lot of people investing in Portugal. There's like Costa Rica and some other countries as well that are pretty good, some other South American countries. But overall, nothing even remotely compares to how amazing our country is set up. Like, think about PropWire, right? Like, the fact that you can get data on every transaction, everything that's going on. You can't even get the data in Canada. Is that correct? Jamil?
You get nothing. You can't, there's no skip tracing in Canada. There's no sold data in Canada. There's nothing. And also, I'd like to just point out, guys, the entire country has the same population as the state of California.
Right.
The entire country
Of Canada.
The entire country has the same population density as the state of California, which tells you that there's just not a lot of activity out there. There's not a lot of people, right? So, yes, Canada's a beautiful place with beautiful human beings. There's so much. It has so much going for it. I would, if you're a Canadian, I would live in Canada and I would make money in the United States.
Yep. You know what's great about the US is it's the last place where you can transact morally and ethically. You know, most other countries, unless you're corrupt with the government, you can't become wealthy. You can't be successful. Here, you know, maybe we have high taxes if you're wealthy, but at least here we can honestly make money. Without having to pay off our bribes or any of that kind of stuff. We can still do it honestly here. And that makes this the greatest country in the world.
Jerry, can you do wholesaling on market? If so, why not?
Not usually. Here's why. Wholesaling is when you buy it and then you resell it and you don't do anything to it, right? You get a discount, you resell it. So the problem that you have when you try to do that with an already listed property is when you bring it back to market, what's different about it than before? Everybody saw it before, nobody wanted it. And now you're putting it back up there. The only way you're going to get action is if it's significantly lower than what it was at before to really draw some attention. There's something special about an off-market property that comes on market. Nobody's seen it. Everybody wants it. It's kind of like new blood, right? Whereas when something's been out there forever, you contract it, buy it, put it right back up there. If you haven't done something to it, then it's not going to grab any attention usually. That makes sense?
Also, I don't think technically you can relist a listed property.
Well, you would have to buy it.
You'd have to buy it, close it, and then list it. Yeah,
that's what they're saying. Oh, yeah,
you
bought it, close out, then relist.
So they're not trying to do it on equitable interest. They're talking post close. Yeah, you will end up losing money if you try to do that.
Yep.
Unless it's listed for $299, you know, and you get it for $75, and you put it back out at $150, and it's like significantly less. But I don't even really try to do it that way. Like, don't ever really try.
Did you guys see they're talking about putting real estate into 401ks?
Yeah, it's genius.
Talk to me about that.
Okay, so are you talking about crypto?
No, I thought it was real estate.
No, it's crypto. You've always been able to do real estate in 401ks. What they're doing is they're now allowing you to buy crypto in your 401k and your self-directed IRA. Yeah, there's regulation around how to hold your own property. Like, you can't go and lend money in a certain way, and you can't do certain things in your self-directed in your 401k in terms of like holding property in a certain way. But it's always been available and always been a thing. It's the new regulation that has been lifted around buying crypto in your 401k and self-directed IRAs has now been lifted in just the last little bit. It is, yeah, there you go. It's only self-directed, by the way. It's not 401ks.
It says Trump just shook up retirement plans. Your 401k could soon include real estate. This is August 11th.
Oh, okay. So 401ks is for your 9-to-5 job, right? You're at your 9-to-5 job. This is not self-directed money.
Not IRA.
Right.
No.
The biggest shakeup that just happened was your IRA, your self-directed IRA. Like, you control it yourself. You've left your job, or like even me as a business owner, I have a Roth IRA. I actually have a backdoor Roth IRA. I now can buy crypto.
I bet you do.
I do. When I signed up for it, I was like, dude, can I pay extra for that? So I have a backdoor Roth IRA. The challenging thing with a Roth IRA for business owners is that you have to, whatever benefits you're giving yourself as a business owner, you have to give the same benefits to your employees. And so what happens is you have to create what's called a backdoor Roth IRA so that your company can go and invest in your Roth IRA without having to give the same benefits to your employers. Okay. So anyway, different conversation, different day.
Can any of you else see the thought bubble above Brent Daniels' head just snickering every time Pace says backdoor?
Yeah, he's a man.
He's a 13-year-old boy.
He's in there somewhere.
So you can now buy crypto in your self-directed IRA, which is huge for people. Is that let's say you go buy Bitcoin, it goes up in value, you don't get taxed on it, and it just stays in your self-directed, which is freaking amazing. So this is why crypto is currently or Bitcoin hit $123,000 per coin, is because that announcement came out a little bit ago, a couple of weeks ago. It's now come back to like 116, 117, I think it is. But now there's new regulation coming out. You know what's cool about my Bitcoin? 100% of my Bitcoin, I have about $1 million of it, has been funded from free cash flow from properties I bought on Creative Finance.
Wow.
So I watch people that go out and they earn money from their day-to-day job, they pay taxes on it, and then they go buy crypto with it in like little onesie, twosie, little 100 here, 100 there, whatever. The smart thing to do is go out and buy an RV park, a mobile home park, a business even. That free passive cash flow, take 20% of that and then go put that into crypto. And now you've got a little piggy bank type of situation going on for a long time. So yes, self-directed IRAs can now buy Bitcoin, which is massively beneficial. And it's going to push the price of Bitcoin even higher. Let's see here. Jamil, can you do a crash pad method with your co-living properties?
Explain what he means by crash pad method. You know what he's talking about?
I have no idea. I assume that's a new Jamil phrase.
That's kind of a cool thing, Jamil. You should make that mean something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't jujitsu. I'm not sure what you mean by crash pad method. Are you saying like staying for less than a week? Is that like actual crash pad? And if that's the case, no, I don't. I really like the consistency of an occupant who's going to stay a long time. So the majority of all of my co-living homes now are all being rented out through nonprofits. I have a 6-month waiting list on my co-living properties. So once they're constructed, they're full within 30 days, and I'm getting top dollar for it. I don't need to go to pad split. I don't need to do any of that.
Okay, so Chino Monte, good to see you, brother. I've seen you in the side chat all day today. We love you, man. He says crash pad means housing for flight attendants, hot beds versus cold beds. Right. I don't know that I would ever spend my time on that. I just feel like there's a lot of turnover.
Yeah, and also like, why would I want to limit to just that? You know, I like casting my net wide, and also just creating community in those places. I don't want it to be like an in and out where people feel like they're just randos coming in out of the house. I want people to feel like they're living in a little micro community. And so I think for me, that would be against really the cultural thing that I'm trying to create in these homes.
Okay, cool. Joel Shilpy, I like this question, but what I want to do is just touch base on that crash pad thing that Jamil's talking about for a second. I agree with Jamil entirely. Why would I put myself just into this teeny little zone? I'll tell you the answer why, Jamil. Because people are desperately trying to get something called cost segregation and tax benefits from real estate. And unless you are a full-time real estate professional, which means you are managing the properties you own 100 hours more per year than anyone else, you cannot be a a real estate professional. If you're not a real estate professional, you don't get the tax benefits. Now, the part of that 100 hours is you can't just manage a mobile home park. You can't just manage a multifamily property. What you have to do is you have to manage a property that the average stay is 7 days or less. That is what qualifies for cost segregation and all these tax depreciation and all of that kind of stuff. 7 days or less. You manage it 100 hours more than anybody else. Okay. Active participation in the management. Guys, if you're like, I don't want to do Airbnb. Yeah, I agree. Airbnb sucks. I don't like Airbnb. You can tell all your Airbnb friends that Pace, you heard it here first. Airbnb sucks. The only person I think that's teaching Airbnb the right way is Bill Faith Everybody else is a bunch of freaking knuckleheads telling you go put 40% down and get a mortgage at 7%. And you're going to cash flow $40,000 a month. You can kiss my grits. That is not happening. Here's what I want you to do. Ask your CPA. Hey, CPA, how many of your clients bought Airbnbs in the last couple of years just to get bonus depreciation and just found out that they can't cash flow on Airbnb? They're going to answer. Matt Sorensen. We should bring Matt Sorensen on. He's a wealth of knowledge. He will come on here and tell you that like 99% of their clients in their tax business do not cash flow in their Airbnbs. They get their butts handed to them because they chased cost segregation and they were told that they could Airbnb stuff. If you are chasing the right model and you really want tax benefits, I would suggest buying an RV park because an RV park has an average stay of 4 days at an RV park. RV parks, if you guys don't mind, can I show you guys my cash flow on my RV parks?
Please.
So I only own 4 right now. I have 2 more in escrow. So by the end of the year, I should own between 6 and 8. But here are the cash flow from my, when I say cash flow, I mean net. Okay. I don't like those people that talk about their cash flow as if income is cash flow. Okay. Income is not cash flow. Money in my pocket is cash flow. So let's talk about this cash flow for just a second. Right here. So look at these 4 RV parks. My net profit on 4, that's net profit on 4 RV parks is $433,000.
Jeez Louise.
Okay, what's geez Louise is look at this. Look at the bottom 2, how little they are compared to the top ones because I just bought them 2 months ago. So the reality is just 2 of those RV parks are $325,000 a year.
What's COGS stand for?
Cost of goods sold. Every expense that you can imagine. COGS, cost of goods sold. So that would be mortgage statements, labor, like vacancy, everything you can imagine is cost of goods sold. If I sell you something, what did it cost me to sell that to you, right? Cost of goods sold. Like if I sell you a bag of candy and it's $2, but I bought the candy for 50 cents, that's not cost of goods sold because I had to buy the candy for 50 cents. I had to stock it. I had to clean the store. I had to open the store, man the cash register, pay for insurance, lighting, electrical, heating, all of those things. The cost of goods sold is probably $1.10 for that bag of Skittles. I actually made 90 cents, not $1.50, right? Cost of goods sold is all your inclusive cost of that thing. An RV park, one RV park will make you between $150,000 and $180,000 per year net in your pocket. That is, I can buy sushi, I can buy a possum, I can buy Cheetos for my possum, and I don't care about what happens with my cash. Okay, so the beautiful thing is, the average stay at an RV park is 4 days, which qualifies me for cost segregation, which qualifies me for getting all those big, beautiful tax bills that Trump came out with. And so when you guys are chasing down tax benefits, stop chasing co-living as a tax benefit because your average duration, you don't want people staying there for 7 days or less. You want them staying there, like Jamil says, for like 9 to 13 months. Now, if you want to become a tax pro, there's other ways to be, a real estate pro. There's other ways to become a real estate pro. Get your license and some other miscellaneous things. You could go that route as well. And then co-living does qualify. I, of course, am a full-time real estate professional from my RV parks, but I then bring in my co-living as a tax benefit, but I did not qualify for those tax benefits from the co-living, if that makes sense.
And keep in mind, Pace, flipping and wholesaling activity can count towards your hours as long as you still meet the minimum requirement that are involved in the asset management of those.
How about learning about these things? Does that qualify?
No, I just asked my CPA yesterday, literally yesterday. Yesterday, I was like, the education does not count. Sadly, it does not.
It should, really it should. But
I actually agree with that 100% because you should be educating yourself on how to balance checkbooks and all of that kind of stuff and going to seminars and learning how to be a better manager of those properties, you would assume makes sense. But what happened is they said that the rule was being abused back in the 90s. and like the early 2000s. And so they had to remove that part of it. So guys, watch how easy this is. Maybe PropWire is going to do this at some point, but watch how easy it is for you to go find an RV park. Check this out. We go to one of my favorite websites of all time, Crexi.com. We can come into here, Crexi, Crexi. I do not own it. And I click on owner finance. I just go to the search bar, type in owner finance. Watch how simple this is. Ooh, here's one right here. Anchorage, Alaska. Should we call him? Annette Scott, dude. She has
How many RVs are in Alaska?
a lot, dude. Surprisingly. Look how many. Okay, they've been on the market for 66 days. Should we call her?
Call her up.
I feel like if I call her right now, her phone number's right here, and people will freaking bother her.
It's still daylight over there, bro.
I know. I feel like I need to hide the next RV park I actually call on, and I don't show the phone number. I already showed the phone number.
Okay.
The problem is because it's the YouTube audience, not our private community. I don't feel like I can trust them, dude. I did this thing a couple of years ago where I was calling sellers, and the seller like pulls his phone away from. He's like, "Somebody just texted me that I'm on YouTube Live with you right now."
Thanks.
Like,
that was nice of you.
Was it you, Jerry, that did that?
No, I mean, that was like, what are you guys doing? I was doing this show called 0 to 60 where it was wholesaling with teens, and we would do it live. We'd go for a couple hours live, and I'm just showing exactly what we're doing. And then like the agent would say to me like the next day, "You wouldn't believe it, I got like 8 calls right after you." I'm like, really, guys? Seriously?
Yeah, I did this call last week where I was calling on an RV for our big, massive nationwide road trip. By the way, if you guys want to come hang out with me and Jamil, whereispace.com. We're coming to a city near you. We're going to be doing deals live with our leaders in the Subto, Astro. And Jamil, what are you calling your co-living group?
Housing Alchemy.
Housing Alchemy. We're going to be doing all sorts of dope stuff live. We might even get Brent and Jerry to come out to a couple of these stops, which would be cool. Anyway, I'm calling to find an RV park on seller finance. And Carly Grunman, who you guys all know, Carly Grunman, she's magical, awesome person inside the Subto community. She finds an RV that is willing to do seller finance. So I call the guy on the live. He's like, "Yeah, I'm interested. This is great. Love this, blah, 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 blah." 15 minutes later, he literally sends me a text message. I have to block from my phone because it gave me so much stress. The guy was like, "Effing jump off a cliff. Tell your goons that keep hammering with me with phone calls to jump off the cliff with you." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, "Right after you got off the phone with me, I had like 45 calls. I'm like, "Man, you freaking YouTube people. Like, y'all have no respect, no refrain from people that are just trying to give you free freaking value. It's crazy."
It's like, Pace, you're showing how to do it. Go do it on your own deal, not the one I'm currently showing you how to do it on.
Right. I actually, this Annette Scott, it's interesting to me. I want to actually talk to her and be honest with her. Hold on a second. Let's see if we can get a hold of her real fast. I don't think I've ever talked to her. Jerry just texted me and said, "Can we butcher a turkey for Thanksgiving?" The answer is yes. Do you have any? You have those albino ones. I don't know if we want to kill them.
We already butchered.
Is this Annette?
Yes, it's Annette.
Hi, Annette. Hopefully my cell phone service is okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I see you all over Crexi representing these RV parks, which is freaking awesome. Are you just dominating that market or what?
I do dominate the market. They call me the queen of RV parks and mobile home parks and trailer park queen, and I'll take that crown.
Okay, I love it. How can I buy? So I've only bought 4 RV parks this year, totaling about $20 million. I haven't bought a mobile home park in a year. I'd like to buy some more. Are you all over the U.S. or I see you in Texas and I see you in Alaska?
Well, tell me what you want and I'll go get it for you.
Okay, I want seller finance, people that are retiring. I will pay down payment. I can qualify.
You want a mom and pop?
I want a mom and pop that wants to retire.
That's all I get.
Got it. And I just closed on 2 in Big Spring, Texas, so I can send those over to you so you can kind of see the size that I'm looking for.
Okay, send those to me so I can look and see what you like.
Okay,
what
love
is your
it.
name?
My name is Pace, Pace.
Pace, and your last name?
Morby, Morby.
Morby. I am the queen of the RV park business.
Okay, I want to be your king.
Okay.
Or better yet, I'll be
Okay,
I'll be your prince. You can be in charge.
Okay, you was my prince. Okay, well, send me all your information and I'll get your marks.
Okay, I love it. And by the way, I've talked about you on YouTube because I show people how to use Crexy on YouTube. And I've told people like, look at this. I'm like, look at this girl. She's such a badass. She's got listings from Alaska to Texas.
I get what I want.
I freaking love it. Okay, cool. I'm going to send you a text.
When I walk in, I've got that listing. When the people hear my voice, they trust me. I've been doing this for years. I get anything I want.
Okay, I love it. We are going to make so much money together. It's going to be amazing.
Send me all your information, Mr. Pace.
Thank you so much, Annette. I appreciate you.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Oh my goodness, I'm in love.
In 2 minutes.
You get an agent like that she's unstoppable.
Oh,
I'm telling you right now.
What a lady. That thing was phenomenal.
You know, here's what's. Let me tell you guys something real fast. So I've done these calls like on RV parks and mobile home parks for like the last couple of months. Number one, they always pick up their phone. There's something different about commercial versus residential.
Yep.
Holy freaking crap, the difference. Every time I call in an RV park, it's the same exact story. It's like, yep, I know exactly what you want. You want seller finance. I'll get the seller that will give you seller finance. Like you jump into larger assets, these sellers need to sell on seller finance to avoid capital gains tax. Guys, if you're trying to get the tax benefits, just buy RV parks. Okay. Pace, but that's really hard. Okay. Well, so is being broke as shit. So, and by the way, Jerry, how are we going to get a turkey plump enough that we can hunt it on your land and then, like, we need to get a turkey that's plump and juicy, and we release.
Yeah.
Alive though.
Yeah. You'll shoot it and we'll butcher it together. We'll get the girls helping.
Oh my gosh, dude! Do we have to shoot a bow on your property, or can we shoot like an AR-15?
I mean, to kill a turkey, I think a 22 would be fine, but we could.
Space wants to shoot the turkey with an AR-15. There's not going to be any turkey left.
Yeah. Be Swiss cheese.
Oh my gosh, dude. Brent Daniels, what do you have going on this week, brother?
I've got a live show Wednesday. It's going to be in the afternoon, not the morning. And so a little adjustment there, but that's it.
And how do they find you?
Brent Daniels on YouTube, going live every Wednesday.
Okay. Jerry Norton.
I'm going to do a trip down to Puerto Rico this week. I've got to check on my hotel, do some meetings there, and I've got to go check on the big $8 million build project. So spend a couple days there this week.
When I get there in Puerto Rico in a couple of months, this is January, will you be done with that $8 million project? We can shoot a YouTube video about it?
Oh yeah, why don't we do the meetup at the hotel and we'll do a bus tour over to the project.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, that'd be so sick. All right, I love it. Jamil Damji, what do you have coming up this week?
I'm hanging out with you the whole week, brother. We're bird dogging houses. We're getting 150 people their first couple of deals. Going to make some money together and have an awesome time. And I'm also just really flipping excited about the 120-day tour, bro. I'm going to figure all that. I'm doing the whole thing with you. So we're rocking and rolling. Let's go.
I love it, brother. I love it. Love it. For those of you guys who want to know what I'm up to, Jamil and I are working on a 120+ day road trip where we are visiting everybody in the country plus 3 Canadian provinces.
Whoa.
And inside of those provinces, we are going to visit one city in one of those provinces. And we are also going to Puerto Rico and 50 states. Texas, 7 stops. Florida, 8. California, 7. Other states, 2 or 3. And a couple of them states like North Dakota, South Dakota. Those are going to get just one stop. Go to whereispace.com to RSVP. These are going to be free meetups. These are going to be meetups where we, for the first 2 hours of the meetup, are breaking up into teams and helping people get their first deal or maybe their 100th deal if you're already a leader in our community. But go to whereispace.com to know where we are going. Wholesale Hotline, episode 280 freaking 3. That is incredible. We are out.
Peace.
See ya.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.